What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. And today I'm very excited to check out FML, the game. This is for 2 to 8 players. Take you, I don't know, about 30-40 minutes to play. And it's for ages 17 plus. And FML, the game, is an adults-only version of life. Yes, the classic game where you're going to be getting in a car, you're going to take a dude, you're going to take a chick, you're going to go around the board, and you are going to be having kids, getting into hilarious situations, and doing all sorts of things like that, living your life. However, this is an adults-only version of the game, so you'll be getting DUIs, and moms will be discovering your browser history, you're going to be getting vasectomies, and you're going to be having sex change and sex reconstruction, and, you're going to have all sorts of bad stuff happen to you and good stuff happen to you, adult stuff happening to you. It is an adults-only version of life, but is that good? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of FML. So first and foremost, we're going to handy dandy rule sheet. It's just this page right here, and it should have you up and running in no time at all. And if you've ever played Life, then you really should know what's going on here. So we'll take a look at the gameplay, and we'll take a look at components. We'll start off with the components. So first, you're going to get this board, and wow, there is a lot going on this board. Lots and lots of text, and they're generally humorous moments. So it's going to be like, oh, something humorous happens to you, draw an FML card. There's paydays, there's spots where you'll have kids, or you'll get into sticky situations. There's even a QR code up there, which I won't spoil what's on that, but lots of stuff that's going to happen to you throughout your life. You're going to start over here, and you're going to get, yeah, you guessed it, a car and a little dude in there, or a dudette, a lady if you'd like. Now, one thing I want to mention that I think is really cool, just a side note, is these are 3D printed. I'm like 99.9% sure, and all the components you're going to get are actually 3D printed, at least plastic-wise, so that is kind of cool. So you're going to start up here, and you're either going to go to college or you will become a burnout. The only real difference is when you get a career. If you go to college, you're going to start with debt, and you're going to have a lot of this throughout the game sometimes. You'll also have a couple careers that are open to you that will be more lucrative careers, and you'll get to have more choices of your salary once you get to over here where you're going to get a job. So you're going to start with money in the paper. The money is all paper money, and they're in increments of thousands. And yeah, paper money is paper money. I hate paper money. You hate paper money. But it works for the game. So let's take a look at what you're going to be doing in the game. So you're going to start off, and you're going to be rolling this D10 to move yourself around the board. There will be a couple spots throughout the game where you will be required to stop. For instance, when you get a job, or for instance, when you get a house. And these are going to be the cards right here. So for instance, these are cribs, and you'll have a castle, your parents' basement, a commune, downtown loft, and they try to instill humor into all of these cards. Also, depending on how large or how small your thing is, it's going to give you more money at the end of the game, even though at the end of the game, money isn't actually how you're going to win the game. And I'll talk more about that a little bit later. Right here we have some of the careers. So you got doctor, drug dealer, hooker, Wall Street banker, janitor, criminal lawyer. And I will say the game does a pretty good job of making it so that a lot of these cards here and a lot of spots on the board will have you paying people. So it'd be like, I think one was like, you can't control your bowels anymore once you get to the old age part over here, so you're going to have to pay the janitor money. So if you're the janitor, then you are going to get the money that somebody else paid. There's like the one where you're so lonely, so you have to hire the hooker. So now the hooker's going to get paid if someone has the hooker role. So there's some nice interweavingness with the game and with the characters, and I did like that. Next, you're going to have salary, pretty self-explanatory. If you go to college, you're going to have more choices of salary. So, what are you going to do in the game? Really, really simple. Roll the dice and move. So, I'm going to start. I'm going to be a burnout. So, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd read what's on the spot. Your buddy hooks you up with a fake diploma. College careers are unlocked. So, that would be a great start right there. I would not get all the debt that you normally would get from going to college, which you would actually roll the dice and get that number times 10,000, but I am going to have more career choices. So I'd roll the dice again when it gets back to me, and then I'd go to a spot, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is a stop. This is where I would go on the job hunt, and I would get a couple jobs to pick from, and I'd pick the ones that I want, and then from that point on, every time I pass the payday spots, I'm going to get paid whatever my salary is. So this number, for instance, right here, $30,000. So I talked a little bit about the college jobs, and I just wanted to show you the little symbol. There's a little symbol in the bottom right. So this, you can only be a doctor if you've went to college, or in this case, if you have a fake diploma. But the real star of the show are definitely going to be the FML spots. You'll see there's lots of FML spots out there. When you land on them, you are going to read what it says, generally humorous, 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila, FML. You would draw one of these cards. And really, these cards are the star of the show. So I'll show you a couple of these cards, and these cards will kind of tell you if this game is going to be for you based on the humor in it. So, attacked by a panda during a vacation to Tibet, play the remainder of the game with your non-dominant hand. Truth or dare. The group gets to ask you, truth or dare, which will you choose? You appear on Maury and the test results come back. You are not the father. Roll again. And there is a good deal of rolling again / losing a turn in this game. Sell your kidney on the black market. Twitter war. Send a tweet to real Donald Trump or pay $100,000. So lots of pop culture stuff. There's Kardashian reference in here. Lots of different pop culture stuff. Win first place at the 100-meter dash at the Special Olympics. Congrats. Collect 50 grand. GMO. Eat a new genetically modified fish and develop gills. Go jump in the nearest body of water. I'll read 3 more. Judge Judy finds you guilty of stealing your neighbor's cat. Strap for cash and become a sperm donor / surrogate mom. Use this card once for a 50% discount anytime you have to pay. And of course, you have died of dysentery. Sit out a turn. So you're going to be coming up with a lot of these cards. Now, you are actually going to hold on to these cards. You're going to keep these cards in front of you because I haven't mentioned how you win the game, you might have noticed. Well, when you get to the very end, you'll get over here to the retirement spot. And depending on what your net worth is with your debt and with your money and with your house and with everything you have, you will retire, at Walmart greeter, Florida, Mars, kids basement, so on and so forth. You're going to retire there. You will still be able to collect money. So for instance, if you're the hooker and somebody visits the hooker, you still will collect money while you're here. But essentially, you are just going to wait till everyone gets done. Once everyone gets done, you are then going to talk about your life, and you're going to make a short pitch about whose life was the best. You'd say, oh, my life was the best because I appeared on Maury, and I won Animal Crossing, swerve off the road to avoid hitting a family of ducks, I ran into a lake. I guess that really would be something you brag about. But you're going to brag about how great your life was. And this is where you kind of get to make up your own little story based on what's happened since you've gone through the board, what your cards got, and just in general, you can kind of ham it up here. And then you're going to vote for who has the best story. Whoever has the best story will be the winner of FML. And that, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. Alright then, FML the game. What are my final thoughts? Let's go for the pros, let's go for the cons. First, on the pro side, I appreciate what they tried to do here. A lot of other games have taken old school games and made them into adult versions of that said game, and some have had incredible popularity. One that comes to my mind is Apples to Apples and Cards Against Humanity, and now Cards Against Humanity has a license to print money. And I feel like having adult versions of these classic games is a great idea because a lot of people don't want to get into our hobby. They just want to play things they already know, and this could be an extension of that. Another pro that I have with this, it's kind of a weird pro, is I like how they 3D printed the cars. The cars and all these plastic components are completely 3D printed, I'm 99% sure, which I think is really cool. That being said, I'm actually going to say they're a con later because while I think this is a really cool concept, some people are going to say this reeks of cheapness, but I think we're splitting hairs there. Any other pros that I have with the game? If you like the pop culture kind of humor that's included in this game, and if you like that adult sense of humor, then this one might give you some chuckles here and there, which is good. Obviously, it's supposed to be a funny game, and they did try and shove as much humor as they possibly could into the game. Now, that being said, it feels like it's kind of Family Guy humor. I love Family Guy, but the kind of humor, it's like pop culture reference, ha 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 ha, pop culture reference, sex joke, ha ha ha. It's that kind of humor, which I enjoy that type of humor, but if you do not, this game will not be for you. Any pros I have with the game? No. That's where it stops. Moving on to the cons. I can give the game a pass because it's 100% luck driven. It literally is just roll the dice, go to the spot, do what it says on the card, maybe tell a story, maybe you don't, maybe you just pay money, maybe you gain money. It's 100% luck driven, which is the telltale sign of a bad game 99.9% of the time. But I will give this game a pass because they are recreating an original game of life, which was 100% luck driven. So I can give that a pass. What I cannot give a pass, though, is the components. So first and foremost, the components, you got paper money. It's cheap. It's chintzy. It's just not good paper money. Now, there's different colors, and they're bright, and they pop, but it's still paper money. We all hate paper money. So yes, paper money. I hate it. Also, the cards, they're thin, they're stabby, they just don't feel like nicely made cards. They feel like the kind of thing where they're going to bend and they're forever going to have those bend marks in there. It's just, component-wise, everything just does not feel up to snuff here. Now, while I personally do like the 3D printed stuff, some people are going to say this reeks of cheapness and they're not going to like it, and I can understand where they're coming from there. Now, continuing onward, the end game thing. I hate how the end of this game ends up. With the original one, whoever had the most money had the best life, and you had a clear and concise winner. At the end of this, you're supposed to tell a story about how funny or hilarious your life was, and then whoever has the most funny story, you're going to vote on it, and that person will win the game. I hate that. That feels like such a cop-out. And I love storytelling, and I love storytelling games. But also part of the problem is there's not enough spaces on this board to really have that many wild out there things. You roll, a 10, a 9, and an 8, and you're going to be halfway through the board, so maybe you land on 7, 8, 9 spaces the entire game, and some of them aren't going to be that memorable. Like, hey, Merry Christmas, cool. I hit the glass ceiling, women lose a turn, men go again. Okay, how am I supposed to weave that into my story? I got employed, cool. Remember that time I was a hooker? It's just, I didn't like the ending of the game at all. I don't like the components at all. The board just feels very cluttered, and some of the text is very small, so it's a little bit more difficult to read, especially if you're not at the right angle. I wish they would have went with like a road or something like that, maybe made the board bigger, but obviously that would have increased the production cost, so I understand why they didn't do that. Also, the board's really weird. It's like a 6-fold board, which I've never seen before. Yeah, I'll show that to you. It's like, looks like a weird flailing octopus. You know what? Actually, I take that back. I think it's like the Ticket to Ride board, but it folds in a really weird way, so I'm not sure quite how to fold it. I digress. This is a really hard recommendation for just about anybody. If you get together and you play Life with your friends, once or twice a year, and maybe you have special drinking rules, and it's just something you do with some college buddies or with some high school buddies, or hell, I don't know, maybe just do it with homeless people. I don't care. You get together and you play Life every once in a while and you drink, then maybe this one might be for you. And if that's you, I'm not turning my nose up to that. I understand everybody likes their own different kinds of games and their own different weight of games, and if that's you, then I think this one might be one you might want to check out. But if you don't, if you haven't played Life in 10 plus years, this is one you're going to avoid. If you don't like purely luck-driven games, this is one you're going to want to avoid. If you play a lot of hobby games and you don't, for instance, like the adult sense of humor in this game, or you don't like pop culture sense of humor, then this one is one you're going to want to avoid. If you're under 17, then this one's probably not going to be for you, even though that crowd actually probably would like this game a little bit better. But in the end, FML the game is a very hard recommendation for just about anybody. I appreciate what they tried to do here, but the implementation just did not do it for me, and I don't think it's going to do it for most people. But that being said, if this looks like it might be your cup of tea, and you're like, I like that sense of humor, I like Life, I have buddies who might want to play this, then by all means, give it a shot. But for everybody else, I think you're going to want a hard pass on this game. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, what is your favorite adult or gamery version of a classic old game? So, Augustus is one I really want to try, which is like an adult version of Bingo. So I think my answer would probably be Telestrations, which is like a gamery version of the classic game Telephone. But let me know in the comments below, what is yours? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.